Hello and welcome. Seeing as more and more of my real-life friends, family, and co-workers are friending me, I thought today I would tell you about myself. I am a transgendered individual. More specifically, I fall within the subset of bigender, two-spirit, not to be confused with bisexual. Bigendered persons typically display a tendency to move between masculine and feminine gender-typed behavior depending on context, expressing a distinctively male persona and a distinctively female persona. Some bigender persons are more gender fluid in that they may be one, the other, or a blend of both, such as myself. As for myself, I knew from about the age of 6 that I was different. I did not understand it and was too scared to say anything. I did know there was a female persona trying to get out. Growing up bigender and hiding it has caused severe stress at times. I have been suicidal in the past, thinking that I was an abomination and that I was the only one. Even when I was taken for a psych evaluation, I was too scared to admit my feminine side existed. I have been the victim of abuse from my dad when he found a stash of feminine clothing I had. He was so disgusted he threw me into the kitchen cupboards. Although I never truly forgave him for this, we have ignored it and tried to be civil towards each other until he passed. I have been the victim of humiliation by some police officers. Back in my early 20s, I had my own apartment. Seeing as I usually worked a graveyard shift, I kept the same hours on my nights off. One night while cleaning my apartment, I decided to run the garbage out to the dumpster. As I was walking back to my apartment, an RCMP officer decided to do a drive-through through the lot. This member called me over to his car. Being taught to respect police officers, I complied rather than run the 5 feet to the door of my building. Once this officer realized I was presenting as a woman and not a male, he started to laugh and insist I sit in his cruiser. He then radioed for another officer to come see the trollop he found. The officer did not release me until both members had a good laugh. This was made worse by them filling out their paperwork at the local donut shop where I worked and sharing the event with my employer. I have tried hard to hide my feminine side, only letting her out in the privacy of my suite. This only led to more stress and depression. It took several years before I risked sharing her with potential girlfriends. Most of the times, this chased them away. There are people who say we choose to be transgender. Why would I choose to be assaulted even by a parent? Why would I choose to be humiliated by the police and my employer? I am one of nearly 400,000 people who identify as transgender because it is who we are. It is not a choice. Recent studies have shown similar brain activity between male-to-female trans persons and cis women, and female-to-male persons with cis male. These studies also show bigender persons show the activity of both genders. There have been recent genome discoveries that have only shown up in the gender-diverse population. We didn't choose our brains or our chemical makeup, therefore again, we have no choice in being transgender. It wasn't until my early 30s I started to embrace and fully acknowledge my femme side. I've had more resources proving I was gifted with this and not an abomination. I allowed Lise to be herself and managed to integrate both her and my male side into a semi-symbiotic entity. Although I am a mix of both genders, I am truly more comfortable this way. This is what I consider my true gender, female, with of course some tomboyish likes. I have been lucky enough to find a most wonderful and loving woman who is my fiancée and soon-to-be wife. She supports and encourages both sides of me. I have some family that know both sides and accept me as male or female, including my dear sister. I have some friends, both cis and within the GLBT community, who accept me as female. This acceptance has been wonderful and has allowed me to be myself even more so. One of my dear friends, Sandy, was the first one to get me out in public other than Halloween. This was an amazing and freeing feeling. So much so that I semi-regularly will go out as myself now. I am female, but with a male side. I am transgender. I am me. I am Lise. Feel free to comment or ask questions.